Hello everyone, welcome to our channel Coders Arcade. In today's tutorial, I will be showing you how to use the debugging option in PyCharm IDE for Python. Before starting the video, I would like to request you people to please like and share our videos with your friends and family, and also subscribe to our channel Coders Arcade and press the bell icon so that you receive notifications about our latest updates and you do not miss out our future videos. Thank you. So let's get started. So what is debugging? Debugging in computer programming and engineering is a multi-step process that involves identifying a problem, isolating the source of the problem, and then either correcting the problem or determining a way to work around it. The final step of debugging is to test the correction or workaround and make sure it works. In case of software development, the debugging process begins when a developer locates a code error in a computer program and is able to reproduce it. Debugging is part of the software testing process and is an integral part of the entire software development lifecycle. In case of softwares, typically the debugging process starts as soon as code is written and continues in successive stages as code is combined with other units of programming to form a software product. In a large program that has thousands and thousands of lines of code, the debugging process can be made easier by using strategies such as unit tests, code reviews, and pair programming. In order to identify bugs, it can be useful to use a standalone debugger tool or the debug mode of an integrated development environment or IDE. It can be helpful at this point if the developer is familiar with standard error messages. For the process of debugging, the standard practice is to set up a breakpoint and run the program until that breakpoint, at which time program execution stops. The debugger component of an IDE or integrated development environment typically provides the programmer with the capability to view memory and see variables, run the program to the next breakpoint, execute just the next line of code, and in some cases change the values of variables or even change the contents of the line of code about to be executed. Now that you know about the debugging process, let us quickly move on to PyCharm, which is the dedicated IDE for Python, and see how the debugging process actually works. So as you can see here, we are inside the PyCharm IDE, and here you can see I have created a Python file with the name debugging.py, and here I will start writing a program so that I can show you the debugging process in PyCharm. So suppose I want to check the odd and even numbers starting from 1 to 10. So let me write a program for that. I will use the for loop, and then I will use a variable, say I, then I will use the range function. And if I want to check from 1 till 10, what I have to do is I have to take the lower limit to be 1 and the upper limit to be 11, because 11 will be ignored and it will consider till 10. So here I will write my logic. I will use the if statement. If I mod of 2 equal 0, then I will print. I will use the formatted string and I will say I is even, and then I will go to the else block of code, and here I will print using the formatted string I is odd. So with this is the end of the logic for this program. Let's see if it is working or not. What I'll do is, let me run it. Okay, you can see 1 is odd, 2 is even, 3 is odd, 4 is even. So it's working perfectly. Now, in order to use the debugger, what we have to do is, we have to set a breakpoint. So here I will show you how to use the breakpoint. Here in this space, you just have to click with your mouse and you can see you're getting a red circle dot. So this is the breakpoint for this program. And now to use the debugging option, what you have to do is you have to go to this debugger button. or else you can use the shortcut which is Shift plus F9. Let me show you how it works. So let me run it or debug it. I'm clicking on this. Here you can see this is the debugger window, and here you can see the debugger option has been highlighted. So now, in order to go step by step, what you have to do is you have to use the F8 key in your keyboard. So now I will be showing you how to use the debugging option. You can see here there are options: step over, step into my code, and so on. I will be using the step over or the F8 button in my keyboard. So let me show you. I'm pressing F8, and you can see here the value of I is 1. Here also you can see it has become I equal to 1. So let me continuously press the F8 and you will see the changes that occur in my program. So as the value of I is 1, it will be printing I is odd. Then in the second iteration, it will be I equal to 2, as you can see here, and here also it is changed to I equal to 2, and it will keep on going like that. So when I again press F8, it will check the condition which is I mod of 2, or the remainder when divided by 2 is 0 or not. So in case of 2 it will be 0. It will go to this print statement which is I is even. So let me show you by pressing F8. You can see it's going to this option which is I is even. Then I will keep on pressing F8, and you can see the value of I gets changing for the continuous iterations, and depending on the condition it will go to either the first print statement or the second print statement. So as you can see, it keeps on changing. The value of I is changing. 4, now it's 5, now it's 6, and then it's 7, and continuously it will go on till 10. And when the value of I becomes 10, it will go out of the execution and the debugging will finish. So here you can see the debugging process is finished and it's done. So in this way you can use the debugging option. Now suppose you want to use the debugger and also see what is the output in the console. So for that I will again use the debugger, and I will show you. I am pressing this button debugging, and then here the debugger process is started. Now you can see this window which is the console, or it is also known as the watch window, where you can see what is actually happening to your program. So I will click on this console window, and here you can see connected to PyDeb debugger. So now I will be using the F8 and showing you how it is done. So when I press F8, you can see the value of I changes. Here the value of I is 1, and then I will keep pressing F8, and you can see the printed output on the console. So here you can see 1 is odd has been printed. So step by step you can actually see what are the errors in your code, and you can do the debugging and solve the errors or the problems that are occurring in your program. So let me show you by pressing the F8 button again and again. So in the second iteration the I value is 2, and it will print F is even or 2 is even. Let me show you. If I scroll here, you will find it. You can see here 2 is even, and it will go on. If I press F8, it will print 3 is even. Let me show you here. You can see, sorry, it will print 3 is odd, and it will keep on going like this. 4 is even, 5 is odd. Let me just demonstrate how it is happening. So here, as soon as I go on, you can see if I just drag it, yes, 5 is odd, 6 is even, and followed by 7 is odd, 8 is even, it will go on. Like now the value of I is 8, you can see here, and 7 has been printed on the console, and now it will print 8 is even. You can see here 8 is even, and then it will print 9 is odd. Let me show you. Yes, now it is printing 9 is odd, and finally it will print 10 is even. You can see 10 is even, and After this, if I press F8, it will go out of the execution of the program or the for loop. So now you can see the process has finished and it says process finished with exit code 0. In this program, there are no errors. So we are not getting any problems in our program. But if you by mistake have any errors in your program, in that case, you can use this debugging process or the PyDebugger, which will help you to analyze and find out the flaws or the mistakes that you have in your program. So this is how the PyCharm debugging option is used. I hope you like the video. If you have any doubts, you can reach me in the comment section. I will try to clarify your doubts. Thank you for watching the video. See you in our next video.